Hey everybody, so basically, this is the second part of the video series, I guess you could say, about the social aspect of, communicating with Charlie, also known as Penguinz0 or MoistCr1tikal, which I completely neglected to mention in the first part. But basically, um, the first video was about the comments and or like conversations like in his live streams and stuff like that. Um, Not really comments from his videos, but just from like live chat and his live stream on both YouTube and Twitch. And also, I briefly touched about emails as well, but um, this is about the social aspect of Charlie's life, so friends, family, and things like that. So essentially, um, there's a lot, and of course, my cat is here to also take interest in this conversation because friends and family kind of have a bit of a. Oh, come on, cat. I don't want you to get in the way of the keyboard here because you might hit the stop button. But um, so basically, when you have friends and family and you want to include them in your content, um, well, it's very easy for in, like normally extroverted people to really do that and to have that kind of conversation with them about like, hey, do you want to be a part of my content, stuff like that. But with Charlie, I've said this before, he's really introverted, and he's actually had a bit of a mental health hiccup in college, and it's a little bit interesting. And when I say in college, I really mean like in college slash before college, and like the kind of personal growth of that. How did he actually end up having friends in the first place, and like stuff like that, right? Um, Charlie has friends, right? He hangs out with people. Um, he used to have OCD though, or he still does, but it's not nearly as prominent. And you know, lifestyle defining, right? And so you know that kind of comes with a few barriers in the social sense, in which you have like you know, or not you, the viewer, but Charlie in this case, really had struggle with making lasting friendships, right? Matt, or Spicy Matt, is one of Charlie's oldest friends, as I recall, from hearing about it in his videos, and so they've had a lasting relationship, even during the time where Charlie was, having, struggle with, his mental health and things like that. And so it's a little bit interesting, and a lot of people in this world have that, right? Like they have friends who are kind of friends with you, and during your time when you have mental illness and you kind of don't really know how to handle that, especially family, because family, you're born with family and they're in your, they, you're you and the same, right? Basically by blood and stuff like that, right? Like it's harder to really be, not adjacent to your family in that case, especially during those times and periods. So, you know, having a friend like that definitely helped a lot. Um, but you know, having Matt around during these periods and then afterwards really marks like a defining moment for Charlie in this situation because now he not only had a friend, that was with him during that period of time, but also becoming more popular on YouTube and stuff like that. Not just making friends as a part of his content creation, reaching out as a content creator, but also like in real life. Um, Spicy Matt kind of became an integral part of that, and so did a number of other people, like his editors, the camera guy or whoever does that, and like how that has evolved over time. Even Tiana was a part of that. When Charlie was with Tiana, and how that really evolved his content. That was also an integral part, but it wasn't as integral as like having people around for the you know for interest of content creation in particular. And so that's really why Spicy Matt's such an interesting case, because he could have chosen not to really be a content creator, right? But he chose to do that. And, that's a good move for him, because he did what he really wanted to do. And so, he got to do that with his best friend as well. And, that's a really cool thing, to be, friends with such a great content creator like Charlie, and then to also really boost, his content or interest in creating content as well. And, that really kind of, drives both sides of the wheel or the car, whatever metaphor I was going to do that. I don't know what that was for. But, like, really, from both sides, Matt and Charlie were both doing content together, and that also was pretty much what led to the creation of the I if my mind is blanking right now because I'm on this topic right now, but the um, human media group or something like that, where it's basically Matt's in charge of that, and so he has a very essential role in the part of Charlie's content creation as a whole now, because his the contact information changed. It used to be like critical contact or something, like a Gmail address, but now it's actually Matt's email. So when you go on YouTube and try to email him, you're actually emailing Matt, not Charlie. And so that's kind of an evolution point for all people involved in this kind of plot development here, because Matt's now in charge of that, not on just his side of things, but also on Charlie's side. And so he gets to really help Charlie in terms of maybe secretarial things in a way, but also the business side of things. And that's probably a huge influence on the outward appearance of Charlie as a content creator, because now he's got esports teams, MoistCr1tikal, and then it goes on from there, right? Like was it skill check or something like that, is the like the D&D card game kind of thing that Charlie does on the side now. Matt is still a part of that, and I'm sure the other thing that he's doing now as part of the trying to remember exactly, but he's doing that other channel, not the official podcast, but the kind of like TV show kind of thing that he does with Matt. That is also a thing that they started recently, and that's basically helped them to move in a direction where they can end up doing content that they both enjoy. And so having the collective minds these two people together, Matt and Charlie, have really, you know, kind of done like the administrative part of getting all that emotions. That's like a huge bonus for Charlie and for Matt. And you know, of course, and they're still friends, right? So they still hang out outside of that, and so they get to play basketball and do all these kinds of things, and they get to do that and be a group of friends and a group of content creators and doing all these things together. It's really important that they have that balance, and even Charlie's dad has an integral role in this. He's got some videos in Charlie's content that he's basically the exclusive like part of the video, and that's not as big as a role as Charlie and Matt does on account of the other different channels that he does, but that's also a very important part. And I did also mention the official podcast, which is Andrew, Kaya, and Jackson, I believe. Jackson also, I believe, used to be Charlie's editor for the most part, if not still his editor. But like, at least for like the moist meter and things like that, I remember him mentioning Jackson. So like they've been friends as well, not necessarily in the general area, but actually, as a matter of fact, Jackson has been hung out with Charlie quite a lot in real life as well as on the podcast, and same thing with Andrew. I believe, or at least he lives in the same area, so I'm sure they hook up at some point. So like they all kind of get along and hang out. Not sure about Kaya, but that's really not exactly what I'm the most familiar with when it comes to Charlie content per se. I don't watch a lot of their official podcasts. I know they've been there for a very long time, and so that does include Charlie, Jackson, and the rest of the gang. They've all been there together for the podcast, and it's really helped the podcast grow. And including the Red Thread, which is Jackson, Charlie, and the third person whose name totally escapes me right now, but I'm sure it'll come to me at some point. But like all of those things that he does is not just with friends, but with people who want to do the same content, and that helps to multiply the effectiveness of it, not just administratively or secretarially, but in a just practical sense, And so that's really why I wanted to touch upon that, because I feel like there's people out there who want to be content creators but don't really do it on a social level where it like involves friends and family and things like that, or if it does, it doesn't really feel as wholesome, or maybe it's not, definitely not nearly as branched out as Charlie's friends and his all their content are. They have a whole bunch of different channels, and they're all part of the same group, and so it's hard to really keep track of that, and it's easy to get lost in that and to really feel overall inspired. I apologize. That noise is my cat. She's playing around right now. But it's just basically like having a whole bunch of people together and having a great time. That's really what is so inspiring about that. Not just the amount of time and effort that they actually put into doing all of that content together, and it's also the ability for them to have fun outside of it. I really hope that you, if you're looking into doing content on that level, have a chance to, find a way to enjoy that kind of friendship if you're going to be doing content with other people. And if you really want to take it seriously, you have to really look up to people like Charlie and Matt, who really have done an incredible job of building their foothold on the internet with their content. They've built it from the ground up, and if you want to do that, you can do it. You have every opportunity to do that with people, especially these days. You want to make great content. You just have to plan it accordingly, and you kind of also have to get lucky. Charlie's extremely lucky with the way he did it, the way he got all the success that he did when he was starting solo. And he said that. He's preached that so many times. He's like incredibly lucky, but if you want to actually put out effort and have people who do that, by all means, that's a great idea. I would take Charlie as an example of how to pace yourself on that, because he's done this for years and years, and like, to actually branch out really takes a long time. So you gotta start small, and you really gotta think about those little itty bitty steps before you go and start to sorry, I'm saying a lot, but I'm still driving the point here, hopefully, and hopefully you get to have some fun if you're gonna be going and making content with people that you enjoy hanging out with and who have similar interests as you, and get to really sit down and make it happen. All the power to you. Just make sure that you keep yourself in check when you do it, and don't drive yourself bonkers. Doing all this, work, doing like this, doing the content creation business basically, because if you end up doing it too quickly, you can burn yourself out, and that's not really fun, because then it ripple effects into everybody in the team, and you really want to pace it for everybody to be able to have everybody pick up new content and regular content and stuff like that, right? Just don't burn yourself out. Don't burn out your friends by doing that. So, all right, go and have yourself a great day, and have fun, and take care. Bye bye.